What's up, everybody? This is your boy Tech G back with another video to help you successfully pass the CompTIA Security Plus 601 certification exam. So let's get into it. In this video, you're going to learn about more physical security controls such as USB data blockers, lighting, fencing, fire suppression, sensors, drones, visitor logs, Faraday cages, screen networks, secure areas, and secure data destruction. Let's talk about a USB data blocker. So this is a device that stops an attacker from connecting a USB drive to a computer and stealing data. And there are two types of USB data blockers that you need to be concerned about for the CompTIA Security Plus 601 exam. The first one is a software data blocker. So organizations are utilizing security device lockdown software that can detect the emulation of USB devices that have been placed in the device and can promptly disable usage, in addition to reporting the exploit to the Security Operations Center. Software USB data blockers can ensure people and attackers are unable to steal data with a USB thumb drive from an organization's computer by disabling the USB function. And then we have a hardware USB data blocker, and this is a device that plugs into the charging port on your phone, acting as a shield between the public charging station's cord and your phone. USB data blockers, which are also known as USB condoms, they restrict hackers from accessing your phone's data. Next, we have lighting. So interior and exterior lighting can provide various levels of protection and safety for employees and a facility. Knowing there is lighting everywhere can also serve as a deterrent for potential attackers because it's possible for cameras to pick up any movement. Building lighting and auto sensing light switches can provide safety and visibility, as well as reduce power requirements. Then we have fencing. So physical access controls consist of the systems and techniques used to restrict access to a security perimeter and provide boundary protection. One of the major defenses include fencing and fence monitoring systems. Fencing is usually the first line of defense at the perimeter of a property. Therefore, deploying the right fence for the right level of protection is considered to be very important. Next, we have fire suppression. So fire suppression systems. These are used to extinguish, control, or in some cases entirely prevent fires from spreading or occurring. Fire suppression systems have an incredibly large variety of applications, and as such, there are many different types of suppression systems for different applications being used today. When fire suppression systems are triggered, they are usually tied to power cutoff processes, which turn down power at the same time. And this reduces the chances of the fire continuing to burn while sourced by a device with power and of someone inadvertently getting electrocuted. And the types of fire suppression systems that you need to know are as follows. You have a Class A fire, and this consists of burning trash, wood, and paper, and they require water extinguishing systems which decrease the fire's temperature and extinguishes the flames. You got a Class B fire, and this is consisted of flammable liquids, gases, and grease, and they require a foam extinguishing system. You have a Class C fire, and this is consisted of energized electrical equipment, electrical fires, and burning wires, and they require a carbon dioxide extinguishing system. And then you have a Class D fire, and this is composed of combustible metals such as magnesium, titanium, and sodium, and requires sodium chloride and copper-based dry powder extinguishing systems. Next, we have sensors, and the various types of sensors that you need to know for the Security Plus 601 exam are as follows. You have a motion detection sensor, and this is an electronic device that is designed to detect and measure movement. The sensors use passive infrared to detect motion and then send an alert to the alarm system. You have noise detection, and these are electronic devices that can detect sound where sound is not expected and then convert the sound into an electronic signal, to which that signal is then sent to an alarm or an alerting system. Do you have proximity readers and cards? So proximity card readers, these are data capture devices used to extract information stored on an access control card, contactless smart card, and or key tag. While primarily used for access control, proximity card readers can also be used to enhance site security, track time and attendance, manage site visitors, and much more. Then we have a motion detection sensor, and this is an instrument used in many industries to detect moisture and humidity. security. They can provide warnings for leaks, floods, and other issues that could cause substantial damage to life and property. And then you have a temperature sensor, and this is a device used to measure temperatures such as air temperature, liquid temperature, or the temperature of solid matter. Temperature sensors often work with HVAC systems to ensure an environment is not too cold or too hot. Next, we have drones. So drones, these are unmanned air devices or underwater vehicles that can use embedded computer platforms. Drones operate by using software or firmware, and drone operators use computers and mobile devices to run drone applications that control the drones. Drones communicate via wireless connections to ground stations and operators, and hackers are already exploiting drone software and firmware vulnerabilities to take over drones to gain access to connected systems and networks. Malware is often embedded in drone software and can compromise not only the data collected on the drones, but also the systems that the drone software or connected devices are linked to. Next, we have a visitor log. So a visitor log, this is a tool that helps capture who is coming and going at a facility. It is a record book that keeps track of the visitors on site, their identity, what company they may represent, who they came to visit, the purpose for the visit, contact details, and time in and out. Visitor logbooks can be both paper-based and digital. A paper-based visitor logbook at the front desk reception is a traditional one that requires the guest to fill out a form with their contact details, time in, and the person and the reason for the visit. A digital visitor logbook is an automated and streamlined version where information is inserted with the help of technology. It can capture static pictures of visitors, QR codes, powered check-ins, ID scanning, biometric fingerprints, and more to aid with the workplace being more secure. Next, we have a Faraday cage. So a Faraday cage, this is an enclosure used to block electromagnetic fields. A Faraday cage may be formed by a continuous covering of conductive material. A Faraday cage operates because an external electrical field causes the electric charges within the cage's conducting material to be distributed so that they cancel the field's effect in the cage's interior. This phenomena is used to protect sensitive electronic equipment such as RF receivers from external RF interference, often during testing or alignment of the device. They are also used to protect people and equipment against actual electric currents such as lightning strikes and electrostatic discharges, since the enclosing cage conducts current around the outside of the enclosed space and none passes through the interior. Next, we have a screen subnet, also known as a DMZ or demilitarized zone. So a demilitarized zone, which is sometimes referred to also as a perimeter network, this is a physical or logical subnetwork that contains and exposes an organization's external facing services to an untrusted, usually larger network such as the internet. The purpose of a DMZ is to add an additional layer of security to an organization's LAN to where an external node can access only what is exposed in the DMZ, while the rest of the organization's network is firewalled. The DMZ functions as a small, isolated network position between the internet and the private network, and if its design is effective, it allows the organization extra time to detect and address breaches before they would further penetrate into the internal networks. Next, we have secure areas. So a secure area, this is an area to which only authorized representatives of the entity possessing the confidential information have access, and access is controlled through the use of a key, a card, a lock, or comparable mechanism. Secure areas may include buildings, rooms, or locked storage containers within a room, as long as access to the confidential information is not available to unauthorized personnel. And the types of secure areas you need to be concerned about for the CompTIA Security Plus 601 exam are the following. The first one is called an air gap. So an air gap, this is a network security measure employed on one or more computers to ensure that a secure computer network is physically isolated from unsecured networks, such as the public internet or an unsecured LAN. It means a computer or network has no network interface controllers connected to other networks. Because the computer isn't directly connected to the network, it can't be attacked through the network. So to compromise this type of computer, a hacker would have to cross the air gap, which means they would need to be physically sitting down in front of the computer to access the device. You have vaults and safes. So a vault and or a safe, this is a secure space to store money, valuables, records, and documents. It is intended to protect contents from theft, unauthorized use, fire, natural disasters, and other threats. And then you have what is called a hot aisle or a cold aisle, and this refers to a layout design, especially for data warehouses where huge servers and computing equipment are kept and data is stored. The purpose of the hot aisle and cold aisle scheme is to manage airflow in data centers, consequently lowering the energy, cooling, and management costs inside of the data centers. And let's talk about secure data destruction. So here are some various secure data destruction methods that you need to be concerned with for the Security Plus 601 exam. And the first one is burning. So burning, this is the melting or burning of data that involves dipping the data into acid to destroy its contents. This is one of the most effective ways to destroy data, but is also one of the most dangerous due to the process involving the use of hydrochloric and nitric acids, which are very dangerous to the environment and human skin. Next, you have shredding. So shredding, this is another effective way to destroy data. It involves running papers or hard drives through a heavy-duty shredder, which cuts the paper or drives into tiny bits. Then you have pulping. So data on paper can also be shredded and reduced to a pulp. After the paper has been broken down into pulp, the fibers are separated, washed, and screened to remove fiber bundles. Then the water is pressed out. After the pulp is dried, it can be made into recycled paper. Next, we have pulverizing. So pulverizing, this grinds and or reshreds paper to make it impossible to recover. Documents and storage media are fed into a pulverizer that uses hydraulic or pneumatic action to reduce the materials to loose fibers and shards. Then we have what is called degaussing, and this involves using a powerful device known as an electromagnetic degausser or a permanent magnet degausser, which is used to scramble the hard drive platter so that it cannot be read by anyone. Although the drive is still physically intact, all of the data and the control track data are missing. And this method is preferred if you want to keep a hard drive simply for display purposes. And then we have what are called third-party solutions. So if you choose to send your hard drives off to a recycling company to handle data destruction, you want to ensure that you get what is called a certificate of destruction. A certificate of destruction, this is an important document that includes all the pertinent details regarding your shredding service. Following every paper shredding or media destruction service, you will receive a COD confirming that your material has been securely destroyed. Beyond simply providing a peace of mind, the certificate of destruction is proof that the information stored on the media is no longer at risk and that your business is compliant with relevant privacy laws. All right, so that was my class on physical security controls, where we talked about security controls such as USB data blockers, lighting, fencing, fire suppression, sensors, drones, visitor logs, Faraday cages, screen subnets, secure areas, and secure data destruction. Now, if you felt like you've gotten something valuable out of this information, go ahead and hit the like button, share button, drop a comment, but most importantly, subscribe to this channel. Also, go check out my website, Technology G, so that you can get read up on the latest and greatest to help you successfully pass the CompTIA Security Plus 601 certification exam. And until next video, ladies and gentlemen, peace.